I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work. Hallelujah. Back for another episode recap of that good BMF Black Mafia Family, Season 4, Episode 1, the premiere, entitled Graduation Day. I am your humble and most honorable host, Real. Let's just get right down to brass tacks, shall we?
House music.
So when we last left T and Meech, these cats was down in Mexico, coming to break Loco out of prison. On that PE, that public enemy, Black Steel, in the hour of chaos. Nevertheless, they could not understand that I'm a black man and I could never be a veteran. On the strength of situations unreal, I got a raw deal. Now I'm looking for the steel. Nah. Now they got me in a cell. Death row. What a brother know. And here we start off with Meech, T, and Loco in a bad wig, running through a Mexican desert, hauling ass and all of that. Loco looked like he was on some Mexican Big Mama house type shit. Mofos was chasing after him, shooting at him. These mofos just down in Mexico loitering. Of course, looking unsuspicious, breaking big time jefes out of Mexican prisons. Ain't nothing T and Meech can't do, Somehow no one got shot and no one got caught. I mean, these mofos was on foot and they feet was on sand, and the popo or whoever, they was in motorized vehicles, couldn't catch them, couldn't hit them with the weapons. At any rate, Meech, T, and a wigged up Loco had time to take a nap, wake up, plot next moves, but at some point, a rattlesnake or some crept up on Meech, bit him round the ankle. Loco like, that bite looks super deadly. And he run off to find some help. Came back hours later, and I mean hours. Shit, it was the devil's hour by the time Loco came back. But come back he does. With a goddamn Mexican voodoo priest and shit. This mofo was on that brujeria. That witchcraft. My man rolled up with a thick-ass chicken and shit. T was looking at Loco like, I'm hungry as a mofo. What he about to do with that goddamn chicken, though? He like, we might not be able to fry it, But shit, we got a fire going. get a few sticks, we could be creative, and Kenny Rogers rotisserie roast his ass. All of a sudden, the witch doctor snapped the chicken neck like, snapped that neck like he was snapping peas and got real after that. Goddamn chicken got the sacrificed out of his ass, didn't he? That goddamn witch doctor got to carving the cluck out of that chicken. Next thing we know, Meech got 2 goddamn chicken bones dipped in sweet baby Ray's barbecue sauce laying up on his damn snake bite. In the form of a cross and shit. T was like, Loco, the f*** is he doing? That's a good goddamn chicken going to waste here. This is some goddamn Popeye's Colonel Sanders blasphemy being propagated around these parts, you know. My medicine man wasn't paying T no damn attention. T whining and shit. He like, we Christian. We don't do no shit like this. Loco done took T watch as payment for said voodoo services. T like, this some bullshit. Meech wake up. Everybody like, oh shit. Motherfucker Meech was left for dead before them chicken bones got put on his damn bite and shit. But the medicine man wasn't done. He get to playing around in the baby Ray's barbecue sauce a little more. He like, this mofo Meech gonna be a legend. Gonna be on that Black Pablo Escobar type shit, you know. I don't know about this other gringo over here. You know, the dark-skinned gringo. T get the bitchin', you know, 'cause Meech done upstaged his ass once again. T was on some curses. It's my Meech. One eye wanted to be happy, but the other was like, nah, that. Didn't seem like they were seeing eye to eye on the situation, you know. Meech like, God loved the hell out of me. Voodoo Man said Meech was going to be a leader with a house on the hill and all of that, you know. You got a house on the hill, chromed out ride, you live that lie. Got on that ISIS. T like, this man is the damn devil. Ain't nothing holy about this shit here he talking about. Plus this mofo was Snickers hangry, you know. Who know how long it been since they last ate? They was out in that desert so long, they went from looking for food to becoming food. Goddamn wolves and coyotes start circling and shit, 'cause they was hangry too. What this mofo Loco go and do? Threw the headless voodoo chicken at the wolves. T was like, that's good goddamn chicken. This mofo T almost lost it. He was looking like, you know I was going to eat that, right? You know. At some point, T make it back to the D. Meech, not so quickly. This mofo Meech was missing in action for like 6 months. So T back in Detroit trying to keep the ship afloat, you know. He don't know what happened to Meech. What he do know is that mofos ain't giving him his propers like Aretha. Ain't giving T no respect. He up in the mini casino gambling, placing bets and shit 'cause his crew having some setbacks on the drug front. So he trying to compensate and supplement their damn dope income with some gambling winnings. That's a lot of goddamn gambling he gonna have to do, you know. Around and lose your dope money on them tables. Well, that ain't right. 'Cause was happening. Like, this mofo Jay Pusher in St. Louis getting shipments on credit, and from the A, not from the D, from Meech crew in Atlanta. Other cats hearing about it, and just start going downhill from there, shorting them, not paying on time, f***ing up their ability to collect from cats. T ain't feeling this at all. Calls up J Pusher, who at the time was eyeing up a new grill. He up in the store looking at some diamond-encrusted golden mouth bling, Told T, I don't f*** with you like that. I don't deal with outsiders. Called T an outsider. Said that he deal with Meech. He like, I'll pay Meech when I see him. Hung up on T ass, like his jail call time had run out. T ain't getting no goddamn respect. Even Hoop talking to T like, can't run right without Meech. He like, I appreciate how you been stepping up and all, You've been being a good team player. Putting food on our table while Meech going to shit, you done good. But, this thing don't run right without Meechy, which is fully displeasing to T's ears. He up in the D running his crew like a goddamn frat, or like a high school crew. This mofo done implemented a dress code. He like on Tuesdays, we all gonna wear black Adidas, Ooh, they gonna be on us. Nobody gonna rock it like us. They up in the restaurant, I guess on a Tuesday, 'cause this one mofo come in with the drop-off bag, wearing some Navy Nikes. And all the mofos at the table got on black Adidas in some form. This mofo T took his ass to task. He like, whoa, whoa, whoa. The f*** is going on here? Cat was like, I can't get no ass if we looking like twinsies and shit. T like, well, you can't get no cash if you can't get with my dress code program, player. He like, that's okay. I'm just going to dock your pay, for that little mishap. Just being unruly with the goddamn power structure. And like last season, Sterl, Hoop, the PA boys, and the rest of the 50 boys look like they just tolerating T ass. For the sake of keeping the band together while Meech in the A or elsewhere. At some point, T get a visit from Markesha, who basically tells him she want him to put her in the game. She ain't there for no D. She want him to put her in the game like game. She like, put me in, coach. I know all the players. I'm trying to sell some drugs. He basically tell her good luck with that. Got on that Russell. He like, thanks for coming out. God bless and good night. She leave up out of there on her I'm ready to get in way over my head mission. Makes her way over to the prison to see her baby daddy Boom. Tells him shit she think he might want to hear, Like I'm still yours. The kitty's still yours, Got a few more miles on it than when you last seen it, but it's still yours. It's still yours, Daddy, always was. He Boom up in the clink, so he like, whatever, that's cool with me, Beggars can't be choosers up in the goddamn clink. Gives her some guidance as she head out to stake her claim, meets up with a side piece of one of Boom's associates. Pursues her journey into the game, we'll see how far that goes. On the Flenory side of the house, the pastor of Lucille's church steps down. And Lucille is offered an opportunity. She's offered an opportunity to be the new pastor at her church. She was assistant pastor last season. Well, she interviews and gets that position, becomes the new pastor, got a new robe and all of that. Let me find out Lucille gonna be preaching. Praise God. Pops up in the spot, waiting and getting excited for that tour with his gospel band. He can't wait to go on tour. He done already told folks he done met CC Winans. He like, I met CC. She was all of that. She was looking like Thanksgiving ham, collards, stuffing. She was looking like the whole Thanksgiving meal. Whatever age she is now, she's still stacking. Nikki up in the crib getting her hair done by LaWanda, who now trying to be a cosmetologist, She like, Nikki, you my first client. LaWanda trying to do that hair professionally. When LaWanda was done, she handed the mirror over to Nikki. She like, how you love that? And excited, Nikki picked up the mirror with her in it and a magazine that had Janet Jackson on it, Apparently, she told LaWanda, I want the Janet look, on this Word Up magazine cover, or whatever cover it was Janet was on. Nikki picked up the mirror and the magazine with Janet on it, placed them side by side, looking at herself in the mirror, to see if it was a perfect match. To see if LaWanda made her look like Janet, with the little hairstyle Janet had popping, Nikki like, what the f***? I said Janet Jackson, not Reby Jackson. In the quiet of the night is when the snake is in the crawling and the moon starts to glow and disappear. Centipede. I had little darling Nikki looking like goddamn Reby up in that bitch. Nikki wasn't feeling her new little do at all. Like Janet on the magazine was like a kind of playful frizzy look, And Nikki that LaWanda just did was like a combo between a luster silk S-curl and a Coming to America Jerry curl. T even came in the damn door. Said she looked like goddamn Tito and shit. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Said her was looking like Randy Jackson. At some point, Nikki graduates and they celebrate, had a little graduation party and all of that, which was upstaged by Meech a little bit, Nikki up in the joint giving her speech, thanking her folks and T for the party, talking about how she going to Morris Brown University. That's a good look. Then Meech walk in, steal the show. She like, Meech. Of course, everybody happy to see him, Everybody except T, that is. Like my man T was hating on his older brother. Had hateration dripping on his brow. Ain't give him a greet or nothing. Ain't acknowledge his ass. And to add insult to injury, Meech lays a car on Nikki, as a graduation gift. Like T put the event together. And here come Meech out the blue, out of thin air. No notice, no heads up, no nothing. Stealing the show. The opposite of empty-handed for Nikki. At some point, they all piece up out of there, And both T and Meech wind up at the restaurant, the home base, where Jay Pusher is waiting. T coming first and separate from Meech. Like they came separately. T came in looking like he about to get down to business on Jay Pusher ass. Cause he done told Hoop to bring Jay Pusher up in the spot. He gonna deal with this money business. Jay Pusher don't seem worried about a goddamn thing. Like ain't no fear or concern on his mind about T ass. T start on his where my money routine. He got all the lights out up in the spot and shit. Like I'm about to get this money. I don't know what the you heard. One way or the other, player, I'm gonna get it. Just then Meech pop up, Meech come in the restaurant, it's like goddamn Dre Day up in that. Hugs and pounds from every damn body. You could see the heat steaming off T-Baby Fro, Then Meech little broed him and all of that. In front of everybody. He like, why you got the lights out in this, Then Meech stood there while Jay Pusher joined in. Took a shot at T. So now T feeling ganged up on. And he get to calling out the plug name. Get to telling Meech business in front of everybody. T like I was handling business while you was running around with your BFF Loco. Soon as he said it, you could see mofos, especially Jay Pusher around the room taking notes and shit like, oh, okay, Loco. You don't get that plug name. They got it. Meech and T get to throwing bows. And you know how cats be when a fight break out. Ain't nobody breaking up shit. Can't wait to have that front row seat to an ass whipping. Like we love a good ass whipping in person. At some point the fight ends. And a beat up pair of Flenory brothers catch up out at they whips. Meech give T his cut. But before they could get a good little rap in, automatic gunfire shots pop off, And they get to dipping and diving, trying to save their ass, run up into a damn closed off corridor. Who come around the corner but a hocked up Lamar came creeping around that goddamn corner. Talking about how he beat his addiction. He got the gat out. But he wanted to chat more than he wanted to shoot. Cause the Flenory boys are the reason he got strung out in the first goddamn place. Y'all remember how they laced Lamar up real nice, Instead of take him off this earth, they figure they string him out. Turned his ass into the Walking Dead and all of that. He was out of pocket for a minute. But showed up earlier in this episode for the first time in a little bit. His ass was in group therapy, up in rehab. Playing piano, singing Negro spirituals and Lamar was singing the motherfucking Negro spiritual, wasn't he? Shit, my ass was ready to walk over Edmund Pettus Bridge and all of that, you know. We shall overcome. Goddamn Lamar was singing, wasn't he? Told himself if he could beat his addiction, then he could beat anything. And now here he is, back to the cats that beat him, that put him in rehab in the first goddamn place. But unfortunately for him, he was addicted to goddamn running his mouth. And at the wrong moment. Because before he could wrap up his little speech and put some lead in tea and Meech, I was a poet, I didn't even know it. You know, before he could pull that trigger on the brothers, B-Mickie put 2 in Lamar backside like blap, blap. Put 2 large in Lamar ass. Wasn't no little ass 380 bullets either. No. That mofo Lamar fell to the ground laying in a pool of his own blood. Now B-Mickie, well, he showed up to Nikki's graduation party but was unwelcome. Figured he'd follow Meech and T around a little bit and maybe catch him at a more opportune moment. And catch him he did. But opportune moment for him it was not. 'Cause even after he saved they asses, they still was like, nah, player. Still ain't feeling your ass, still ain't with you. They all pieced up out that joint, including Lamar ass. Lamar pieced up out that joint like a shot up sinner's vampire and shit. I mean, this motherfucker was laying in a pool of goddamn blood last we saw. Looked around after Meech, T, and B-Mickie rolled out, his ass was motherfucker gone too. Speaking of piecing out and being in group and shit, we see Detective Bryant ass down in the A, in an AA circle with the father of Lil Milton, you know, the little player who got shot up in Techwood. Bryant up in that piece under the name of Mark, you know. Looked like Bryant gonna be on one this season.